No laughing tonight. Quit it.
Gonna throw my man into diarrhea fits, man.
What are you guys talking about?
Jeez. And this is why I'm not streaming the group contact.
You guys are a bunch of uncouth people, I tell you what. Think of the good you're going to do tonight. Captain Napkin.
Even now, Chris, because I have a whole... That's why I reset it, because I set it up so that the room broadcast would happen.
How many have joined? One's got hard tires on.
That's right.
Drunken driving style.
Everything will be good. They're just messing around, so.
That guy can't seem to get under control.
So we're missing one. Or is it us or them? Or maybe it's just not on the truck.
We're missing one of us.
Jay. Okay, it's Jay that's not on.
I thought Jay was here.
He is, he's just not on track.
Oh.
He's the only one that's missing because I have 13 drivers on track right now.
I'm gonna get on. I'm getting on and
So, B Dog is watching our stream right now too. I'm not sure if they're hearing our room or not. Oh, they're saying they can only hear me, Judge. I don't know how to change it, so unfortunately. Okay, so unfortunately that's the only way it's gonna have to be. I don't know how to change that setting. I thought I did, but obviously it didn't.
Well,
But that's okay.
Chat anyways,
That's okay.
right?
Yeah,
What?
but Curtis won't be able to join with me, that's all.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
it's
are
just
you
gonna
gonna-
be my swan song of a voice you hear. Okay, Jay's on now. Good, good. They said we could start right now if we're ready.
Give me a few minutes. I want to smoke a cigarette first.
So no, I'll say 6. So. But I am gonna go and set the grid now.
We're starting on the inside there.
just slow down a little bit more, man.
Made it.
Oh, Jesus. Where's the room? I don't see a room up for you guys.
It's here. It's full.
It's full.
What, so we can't see it?
You're gonna have to go on the YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the... Yes.
Okay, I'll just go on YouTube Live then, so.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. Good luck, guys.
Yep.
Oh, was he? No, 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 no. I wasn't trying to get him in. I have the whole room. I have the whole room supposed to be broadcasting. But nobody's hearing anybody else, just me. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, if I don't have my voice shared, he won't hear me.
Mm-hmm.
And there I am.
Obviously, we heard you.
That's alright. I'm going to be muting you. Just in case. Alright, I'm ready, but I think Leather Meat went to go smoke, so...
Well, we will do on the hour. So 7 minutes, guys. Unless you guys are ready, I can tell them 2 minutes. Is everybody ready?
2 minutes?
Sure.
So I'm going to tell them 2 minutes.
All right.
2 minutes, alright.
I just did, so I'm good.
Power.
I'm just gonna check the starting grid again, just make sure. So nobody go out because it resets it. Okay.
I see 15 people.
Everybody's back. Just want to make sure.
Should be just 14 on track.
There is 14. That's what I see. Okay, Squinch, you're here.
Yep.
Ward, you're here.
Yes.
Stapler, you're here. Archer, you're here. Jay, you're here. Cone, you're here. And Meat, you're here. Alrighty. Here we go, guys. Have a great race. I'm going to be stepping out here in a moment.
I'm going to mute my mic, guys. Have a good race, everybody.
Alright. Yep.
Alrighty. Welcome to PRA and GTCA race night. And we're starting here at Daytona Speedway. And with the start off, it looks like everybody started fairly well. Everybody's fairly clean as we're heading up into the first corner. And still, everybody looks like they're doing alright. Everybody's keeping tight. Nobody banging, which is a good first start. Good first corner, everyone. Nice to see. And at the moment we have Squints with GTCA in first place, Ward with GTCA in second place, GSM Turismo with PRA He's running third, Stapler in fourth, and Archer in fifth from GTCA. We have King Saturn in sixth spot at the moment, with Trent 12999 behind him, and Siraxu and Pocono following up. We have Conan number 10, I'm Just Hyper 11, Captain Napkins in 12, Leathermeat 13, Jay in 14. And it's been a great start, everybody. Everything's looking really nice and clean, and everything's going on. And at the moment, we're cycling through the pack. And both set of cars look really, really good out here. Setting up with the PRAs in the blue, and the GTCA is in the black. And right now we have Squints out in front right now, 0.6 seconds, with GS Turismo right behind him, and Ward following up behind him. We have GTCA in third, fourth, and fifth spot right now, and we have PRA in sixth, seventh, and eighth, and ninth, 10th, 11th, and we have Cone, Leathermeat, and Jay in 12, 13, and 14. And again, everybody's taking these corners really, really good. No bumping, no pushing, and it's very, very tight racing right now. Oh, King Saturn bumps off the road, slides into the grass. I'm not sure what caused that, if he just had a mishap. But we're following with Squinch right now, with GS Turismo right on his tail as they're going through, coming up onto the back straightaway before the bus stop. GS Turismo in second spot as he's trying to pull back on Squints. And Stapler's moved up to third. Archer's in fourth with Trent 12999 right behind him. And Pocono right behind him, playing right now with Ward. They're both fighting for position in seventh and sixth and seventh spot. Captain Napkins is directly behind Ward as they're coming up into the bus stop. And again, everybody's running really, really clean here. With right now, Squints is running the fastest lap at a 1:57. And Turismo's going for a pass here. And they're both fighting as they're going into the corner, and Turismo pulls ahead into first spot. And he puts down a fastest lap of a 1:46. Squints is directly behind him as they're moving into the S corners. And Stapler in third spot, Archer in fourth, Trent is in fifth, Pocono 6, Ward is in 7, Captain Napkins 8, I'm Just Humper 9, Cone Killer 10, Leathermeat 11, Jay 12, Siraxu 13, King Saturn 14. Back up to the front of the pack. And again, they're coming up into the back straightaway before the bus stop in that nice long curve. Turismo puts down a purple sector there, and Squints is just about a second behind him now. With Stapler in third spot, 2 seconds back of Squints. Archer fourth, 1.8 back of Stapler. And then we have Trent, half a second back of Archer right now. Captain Napkin, 1 second behind him. Ward, 1.1 seconds behind Captain Napkin. Pocono, not even a quarter of a second behind. Well, it looks like Pocono has a 0.5 of a second penalty here. Coming into the front curve straightaway, Turismo is in front by 1 second as he crosses the line, and he puts down a 1:46.687 for fastest lap. Squinch is trying to pull him back, a second behind, with Stapler in 3rd spot, 2.5 seconds behind Squints. Trent's in 4th, Archer in 5th, Captain Napkins is pulled up into 6th, Ward in 7th, I'm Just Hyper in 8th spot, Pocono is in 9th spot, Jaguarva is in 10, Siraxu is in 11, King Saturn in 12th, Leather is in the pit, he must have gotten some damage there, and Kona's in the pit as well in 14th spot. Coming into the back corners, long straightaway here, a nice curving going up to the bus station. JSM Turismo is still in 1st place with a little bit more of a gap, 1.16 seconds, with Squints on 2nd spot behind him. The drivers are starting to spread out more now, as they're covering probably half the track now in cars. So, and welcome everybody watching. This is PRA versus GTCA. We'll be running in Daytona Speedway here, and then our next race will be at Spa. So just stay in. Each race is 30 minutes with a 5-minute rest break in between races. So the races are really going to be back to back to back. So it should be an exciting night, and things look to be running really good right now. It looks to be a fairly even match between teams, which is nice to see. JSM Turismo's putting a little bit more space between him and Squints as he's moved up to 3.5 seconds. Squints in 2nd spot. Again, Stapler behind him, 1.2 seconds. And then now it's Trent, 12999, has moved up past Archer. And Archer's in 5th spot, with Captain Napkins in 6th, with Ward in 7, Pocono 8, I'm Just Hyper in 9th, Siraxu in 10th, Jay in 11th, Leathermeat 12th, Cone 13, King Saturn is in the pit in 14th spot at the moment. Really good racing here tonight. A lot of clean, no real contact. It's nice to see. This is our first time racing with PRA, and hopefully with the way this is going, it may not be our last. Good job everybody. I congratulate everybody on both teams. And we're with a full race tonight with 14 drivers, 7 drivers from each team. And Ward right now is fighting here with Captain Napkins, staying right on his tail here, taking advantage of a bit of the draft. Oh, and Captain Napkins is going into the pit. Ward stays out and moves up into 6th spot. Archer is in 5th spot here. Trent 12999 is in 4th. Stapler in 3rd. Squints in 2nd. And JS Turismo in 1st. With 3.6 seconds still. We're on lap 6, and this race will be 17 laps, I believe, for the 30-minute time frame that we're looking at. Oh, Squints hits the grass a bit there, slows down a little bit, but he brings it back as he tries to chase down JSM Turismo, who's now gained 3.7 seconds because of that little grass run that Squints did. Following a Stapler, he has Trent 12999 racing with him right now, trying to make a pass here as they go around. Coming up into the bus stop with Stapler managing to keep him back there. We'll stay with them for a moment as we watch them go into the bus stop here. Ooh, and Trent picks up a little bit of a penalty there, which is unfortunate for him, and that's going to let Stapler move a little bit more ahead and might actually allow Archer to catch back up a bit, bring in 4th and 5th back together. JS Turismo is going into the pit, and Squints has stayed out. He's now in 1st spot, but the pit strategies are what's going to decide this race for everybody. So we'll see how that goes. So we have JSM Turismo, Trent 1299, and I'm just hyper in the pits at the moment, with most of GTCA staying out, and it looks like most of PRA has gone into the pit. So all GTCA pretty much out on the track right now, and PRA is starting to come out of the pit now. So right now, Squints is 1st, Stapler 2nd, Archer 3rd, Ward 4th, Jay 5th, with JSM Turismo back on the track in 6th, Trent behind him in 7th, Leathermeat in 8th, Cone in 9th, Pocono in 10th, I'm Just Hyper in 11th, Sirakshu is 12th, Captain Napkins is 13th, and King Saturn right now is in 14th spot. Squints and Stapler are trying to put a little bit of a gap in, so we'll see how that goes as they come through the bus stop and onto the sweeping front track again, or front straightaway again. And looking at fuel, looks like Squints and Stapler may have to pit this time. Let's wait and see if they're going to, or if they're going to try to run another lap. And Squints and Stapler both pit. Archer's going to have to follow suit with them here. And it looks like Ward's going to follow suit as well. Jay has a half-second penalty, and he's going to be forced to slow down here in the slow as he goes into the pit as well. So GTCA looks like they're all pitting, putting PRA back out in front for this raid at the moment. GS Turismo is now out in front, and Trent is out behind him as well, and he's gonna come up, and he's still in 2nd spot. Oh, sorry, I have to correct myself. Squint came out on 2nd spot. So Quince is now 4 seconds back of GSM Turismo in 2nd spot. Stapler right behind him in 3rd. Archer in 4th. We have Trent 12999 in 5th, and he's going to be racing Archer again here. We have Leathermeat in 6th. We have B Ward in 7th and Cone Killer in 8th. Pocono is in 9th. I'm Just Hyper in 10th. Sirakshu in 11th. Captain Napkins 12th. Jay 13th. And King Saturn in 14th spot. And Jay just made a pass on Captain Napkins, and it looks like they're pushing here again, and we'll see if Jay's able to maintain that position as he comes into the corner and he gains a little bit more, and he's staying right now ahead of Captain Napkins. So we'll stick with them a little bit here as they head into the back swooping corner going to the bus stop. Captain Napkins' back tires slid a little bit there, giving Jay a little bit more of a gap. 0.7 seconds up. Moving up the track, we have Siraxo in 11th, chasing I'm Just Hyper, 2.5 seconds ahead of him. Pocono is in 9th, 2.5 seconds up on him. Ward is in 8th spot, with Cone Killer in 7th spot now. Leather in 6th. Trent and Archer are again tail to nose here as they're fighting, and this pair seems to have been fighting a little bit here for the last few laps, so that's a good race going on between them. Oh, and that was a close call as Trent came right up onto Archer's bumper. Moving up, Stapler is 1.8 seconds back, and we have Squints 4 seconds back on JSM Turismo, who's slowly pulling a little bit of a gap away on Squints as they're pulling around. Right now, JSM Turismo is sitting with the fastest lap at 1:46.687. Squints tries to pull him back as they're heading into the long swooping corner before the bus stop. Stapler 2 seconds back of him. Archer in 4th with a little bit of a gap now on Trent, almost a second. But I see that battle continuing on throughout the rest of this race. Leather is right behind them, trying to pull them both back, with Cone behind him. Ward in 9th, Pocono in Pocono in 9th. I'm just Hyper 10th, Siraxu 11th, GA 12th, Captain Napkins 13, King Saturn in 14th spot at the moment. King Saturn right now has front bumper and tire damage, so I'm not sure if he's gonna pit here when he gets a chance or if he's gonna try to stay out. We'll have to keep an eye on that to see. And running through all the cars, it looks like nobody else is running damage right now. So again, this race has been very, very clean, very, very fast, and I have to say, good driving, everybody. And running through the pack here, it looks like the tire strategy, everybody's running racing softs. For this race. So we're back with GSM Turismo in first place. He's opened up a little bit more of a gap at 5.2 seconds on Squints, who's in 2nd spot for GTCA. Once again, I'd like to welcome everybody watching to our PRA versus GTCA race night. This is the first time these two teams have raced against each other, and it's going to be a race night of 3 races. We're starting here on Daytona Speedway. The next race will be at Spa, and after the second race, the team with the most points will be picking the 3rd track. The 3rd track right now will be either Watkins Glen or it'll be Mount Panorama. So that will be decided by the team that's in 1st place heading into the 3rd race. So we'll have to wait to see where we're going to go with that. Mount Panorama is a very technical track, so it'll be interesting if that's the one that comes up. But with Spa and Daytona here are both very, very fast tracks. Trent and Archer again, nose to tail here as they're coming around the front straightaway and passing the front. And Trent puts down a fastest lap there, 1:46.590, as he's trying to get alongside of Archer here. And Archer's fighting him off right now as they're coming into these corners. Very, very tight racing. Oh, and there's a bit of a slide there, and they both make contact. Trent moves up, and Archer's right behind him now. That was unfortunate there, just going too fast into that corner. They were too close, and they made contact. Squint's still in 2nd spot, 5.2 seconds back. Stapler right behind him, 3 seconds back. Trent now is in 4th spot, 3 seconds back from Stapler. Archer is 1.3 seconds back from Trent as he tries to bring him back. Ward is in 6th spot, 5 seconds back. Pocono in 7th, and he's less than a second behind Ward. I'm just Hyper, 1.6 back from Pocono. Siraxu is 4.5 seconds back from I'm just Hyper. Captain Napkins is 14 seconds back. Leather Meat now in 11th, 1.8 seconds back. Jay in 12th, 6 seconds back. Cone in 13, 2.2 seconds back. With King Saturn almost a minute back and in the pit at the moment. As we sit and watch GSM Turismo here for a little bit, watching him take these tight corners. And his gap has grown a little bit more to 7 seconds. Squint's trying to take him back as we're in this 12th lap. 21 minutes almost gone of this 30-minute race. Archer's managed to get past Trent again. I never saw the pass, so again, these two are fighting this whole race. And they are putting quite a battle on for us watching. Trent right now does a little bit of a wiggle as his tires are probably a 1/4% down. Archer's staying up on the front there. His tire's a little bit better right now, but his fuel is getting low. While they're both sitting about the same amount of fuel, so we'll see how what they decide to do here for pitting. Back with JSM Turismo out in front, running a nice clean race. Squint's right behind him, 7 seconds back, trying to bring him back into contention. We'll see how that goes. Stapler, 3rd spot for GTCA. Archer, 4th spot for GTCA. I'd like to thank actually both livery people for both teams. Both these cars look pretty sharp. The PRA are in the blue cars, the GTCA are in the black and red cars. Again, welcome everybody to our race session tonight, PRA versus GTCA. As we watch Pocono and Jay right now battling for position for 10th and 11th, and Pocono is pulling up on Jay as they're coming into the inside corner, and he moves ahead of Jay here. Jay's fighting to bring him back, and they both come out of that corner. I'm not sure if there's a bit of touching there, but Jay pulls out in front again. That's a nice tight battle there as well. With Just Hyper coming back into the mix, coming out of the pit, pulling up in front of Pocono as they're trying to fight back to bring Jay back again. Moving up the line, Cone sitting in 8th spot for GTCA. Leather in 7th spot for GTCA. Trent 12999 is in 6th spot. He's racing with the PRA. We have JTCA Archer in 5th spot. He's racing for GTCA. Ward is in 4th spot. He's GTCA. Stapler is in 3rd. He's with GTCA. Squint 2nd, GTCA, with JSM Turismo in 1st place for PRA, who's pitting. And Squints is following inside as well. So we'll stay out with Stapler, who's and coming into the corners. He's in 1st spot at the moment. So we have 3 in the pit: GSM Turismo, Squints, and B Ward. Archer's in 4th spot right now as he came out of the pit fast, with Trent behind him, 3 seconds behind now. So Archer came out with a better pit than Trent right now. When I look at it, it looks like Archer took less fuel, and that was probably the reason for that. So we have Squints in 3rd spot, JS Turismo right now in 2nd spot. Stapler in 1st spot with 3 laps to go, and we'll have to see if Stapler has the fuel and tires to remain there. Right now he's 15 seconds ahead. JSM Turismo 2nd spot, 15 seconds back, with Squints in 3rd spot, 3 seconds behind him. Archer's in 4th spot in 10 seconds back. Ward 5th spot, 3 seconds back. Trent challenging Ward right now with less than 0.1 of a second as they're fighting each other as they're coming into this swooping back corner into the bus stop, and it looks like Trent might pull ahead here. And he does before they come into the bus stop. So Trent moves up in the 5th spot, Gordon 6th, and it looks like Stapler is pitting. So we're 1 lap to go here. We have JSM Turismo in 1st place with 3.5 seconds up. Stapler in 2nd place. Squints in 3rd place. GTCA Archer in 4th place. Trent 12999 in 5th place. Cone in 6th place. Leather in 7th. Pocono in 8th. I'm Just Hyper in 9th. Gordon 10th. Siraxu in 11th. Captain Napkins in 12th. Jay in 13th, and King Saturn in 14th. With just over a minute left to go in this race, and it looks like we're probably going to maintain the positions that we're in as this race is about to be coming to a close. The second race will be starting in about 5 minutes here, and they will be going to Spa as our second race. As we're into the final lap here, JSM Turismo in 1st spot, 4 seconds up. Stapler in 2nd spot, 1.7 seconds up. Squints in 3rd spot, 8.5 seconds up. Archer in 4th spot, 2.9 seconds up. Trent in 5th spot, 1 second up. Cone in 6th spot, 1.2 seconds up. Leather in 7th spot, 5 seconds We have 4 drivers already in, finishing up. So we watch JSM Turismo go through the bus stop one last time. And Stapler again, him following up. The Squints behind as they're heading into the final swooping straightaway here. And we're watching as JS Turismo crosses the start-finish line. Stapler coming in behind him in 2nd spot. We have Squints coming in 3rd spot. Archer coming up in 4th spot. We have Cone and Trent fighting 5th and 6th. Leathermeat crossing 7th. And there we go. Good race, everybody. I will be resetting the course, and we will be going to Spa. And I will be setting up the next room here. And the next room will be going slowest to fastest on the grid. So we have 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes before we start the next race. Hey guys, everybody good? About Trent?
Trent, yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'm also, he said the one thing too is they're getting some complaints about Jay here as well. That's all. So anyway, yeah, no. Yeah. So we're going to be starting here in a couple minutes. I will be confirming with him before we start. I need to go and I need to set up our grid. And everybody's in now, so I can do that. For the most part though, how are you guys feeling from that? Good.
Too aggressive.
Archer, where's Archer? Leather meat, Pocono. I'm just then pick and then Saraxu, Raxu, and then Captain, and then J, and then King. Okay, so that's the grid is set. Yep. And he's saying here also, guys, let's take it easy on the first corner. That's what he's telling his guys. So give me 1 minute here, guys, and I will be starting everything. What the heck? Why is my iPad dead?
Yeah, the guy in front of me was totally sleeping. No, I just don't think this guy hit the gas till after it counted down.
Cone, 5th, Trent, 6, Leather, 7th, Pocono, 8th. Hyper. 9th. Okay guys, we're going to be starting the next one here. One moment. I'm just seeing what he's saying. Alrighty, here we go, boys.
Oi.
Okay, starting. Here we go, boys. Right now, you got to remember, I'm calculating points. Right now, it's 136 to 103 GTCA versus PRA. Well, just the way positioning works, right? Exactly, exactly. So have a good race, guys. Watch your corner 1 here. So welcome everybody. We are on race number 2 at Spa, and the way the grid is set up, slowest drivers are first, faster drivers are last. So the faster drivers will have to make their way through the pack. And here we go. In first place, starting off, we have King Saturn. In second place, Captain Napkins. In third place, we have Jay. As everybody's coming into this first corner, and we have a little bit of actions.
I don't know who it was.
I never saw where it happened in the back, but we have some damage in the back. And we have a couple penalties here. GSM Turismo has a 1-second penalty. Sorry guys, I need to get out of the chat. I just realized that. Sorry about that, everybody. So coming up here, we have King Saturn in first spot. Captain Napkins in second spot. Jay following up in third spot. Trent following up in fourth, and Trent takes a spin there, and he goes into the grass. And he moves down to 12th. So Jay in third, Pocono in fourth, Squints in fifth spot, Stapler in sixth spot, JSM Turismo in seventh spot with 1 second penalty there. I Am Hyper is in 8th spot, he has a penalty as well. So is Cone in 9th spot, and he's sitting with a ½ second penalty. We have Archer in 10th spot, Leathermeat in 11th, Trent in 12th, Siraxu in 13th, and he went off on the grass. And Ward move up 13th spot now as Siraxu spins out onto the track here. Coming back up to the front again. King Saturn has got 3.3 seconds as he's coming up into the tight little chicane here, with Jay right behind him as they come up to the top peak of this first straightaway and crossing the start-finish line. Again, this is race 2 of our PRA versus GTCA, and we are at Spa today as we're heading up. King Saturn's opening up a little bit of a lead on Jay, 3.8 seconds. Jay racing with GTCA, and he's in second spot. We have Squints, who's moved up from third spot. He started the race here in 11th, I believe, so he's made up quite a bit of ground. Stapler was in 13th spot, and he's now up in 4th. Captain Napkins is 5th spot. Archer right behind him trying to make a pass as they're coming up here, and Archer looks like he got around them. With JSM Turismo right behind Captain Napkin, not Captain Underpants, I apologize there. King Saturn up still in first place, 4.8 seconds up. Jay's following him in second. Squints is gaining up on Jay, 1.5 back. Stapler behind Squints in 4th spot. We have Archer in 5th spot with JSM Turismo right behind him in 6th. Captain Napkins in 7th. Cone in 8th. I'm Just Hyper in 9th. Leather Meat in 10th. Pocono 11th. Trent 12th. Ward 13th. Saraxu 14th. King Saturn staying out there, and he's giving him a little bit more of a gap between second place JTCA Jay. And Jay and Squints are running a second apart right now as they're trying to bring back King Saturn. And we have Stapler right behind Squints as well. With a bit of a gap of 2.5 seconds, we now have JSM Turismo in 5th spot. So he's moved up a couple places here. Captain Napkins right behind him in 6th spot, with Cone in 7th. I'm Just Hyper in 8th. Pocono 9th. Trent 10th. Leather Meat 11th. Ward 12th. GTCA Archer and Leather Meat are switching spots. Saraxu in 14th, and Ward's moved up to 11th spot. Captain Napkins has a 0.5 of the second penalty there as we head up to the front of the line again. Jay is now 6 seconds back of King Saturn, with Squints less than a second behind him. King Saturn in front here goes into the 180-degree corners, and it has a little bit of a tire wiggle there, but he's able to hold on and keep his spot there. Well, as he runs a little bit wide on the other corner. Jay's trying to bring him back with Squints and Stapler behind them, with JSM Turismo from PRA following them up as well. Right now we're sitting PRA in first spot, GTCA second, GTCA third, GTCA fourth, PRA in fifth, GTCA in sixth, PRA seventh, PRA eighth, PRA ninth, PRA 10th, with GTCA in 11th, 12th, and 13th, and PRA up in 14th. Again, the race is going pretty good here. They're keeping a pretty tight path. Not a lot of distance between them all, as Captain Napkins now has a 1.5 second penalty there. As we're watching King Saturn coming across the start finish line with 4.6 seconds. So Jay was able to gain back a little bit of time there as they're coming into the first corner. Jay and Squints are coming around, and Squints looks like he's going to make a pass here on Jay in a moment. And it looks like he's been able to do that. No, sorry, Jay is still up in front with Squints right behind him, and Stapler in 4th spot. JS Turismo is harrying him as he's right up on Stapler's tail as they're coming up this track, heading into the long back straight. And it looks like JS Turismo is making a pass here on Stapler, and he is successful. As JS Turismo moves up to 4th spot, now right in behind Squints. King Saturn has opened up a bit more of a gap, 7 seconds now on Jay, who's in 2nd spot, with 0.3 seconds up on Squints here. So it's very, very tight. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right now. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th actually. And it looks like Squints is trying to make a pass here, and he gets around Jay, moving up into 2nd. With Jay in 3rd, JS Turismo in 4th, and Stapler in 5th. As JS Turismo is trying to make a move here on Jay, and Jay managed to keep the inside corner there, but JS Turismo pulls out in front, moving up into 3rd spot. Stapler and Jay right behind 4th and 5th. King Saturn out in front, 6.91 seconds up, with Squints now in 2nd spot for GTCA, trying to bring him back. And we have JSM Turismo right behind Squints, 1 second back in 3rd spot. Jay is up on him, 0.6 seconds back, with Stapler in 5th spot. Cone is a ways back, 2.5 seconds back. In 6th spot, we have Captain Napkins, 4 seconds back in 7th. Trent is in 8th spot. Pocono is in 9th spot. Oh, Pocono, sorry, I apologize. Ward is in 9th spot. Pocono is in 10th spot. As Ward is slowly moving up, we have Archer in 11th. I'm Just Hyper 12th. Leatherbeat 13th. And Siraxu in 14th. And Siraxu has a 3-second penalty there. I'm not sure what it would cause that, but that's where we're at. King Saturn, 6 seconds up on Squints as Squints tries to bring him back. Looking at tires, King Saturn is on racing soft, and it looks like he's about 3/4 down on most of his tires. Squints is about the same, in 2nd spot behind him, 6 seconds back, and he's still fighting off JSM Turismo right now, 1 second behind him in 3rd. Jay's fallen back a little bit of JSM Turismo, just over 1.5 seconds back from him now, with Stapler a second behind. As we get on board with King Saturn, follow him around here. And Squints 6.3 seconds back in 2nd spot, and still holding off JSM Turismo, 0.8 seconds behind. As they come into the 90 degrees before this back fast straight away before the chicane. It looks like a close battle between Squints and JSM Turismo as they try to fight back and bring King Saturn back. With now under 6 seconds, JSM Turismo is pitting, King Saturn pitting, Squints is staying out on the track. So Squints now moves up in the 1st spot, with Jay behind him in 2nd, Cone in 3rd, Stapler in 4th, as it looks like most of PRA is going to pit here. Ward is staying out, and he's moved up to 5th. Archer's moved in, so again, PRAs, same as last race, are pitting a lap earlier, it looks like, and GTCA is staying out on this 6th lap. And if I have it correct, I believe this is going to be a 14 lap race. This 30 minutes, we're 12 and a half minutes into this race. Squint's now in first place at 4.3 seconds up on Jay, who is in second. Him and Cone Killer are back to back in second and third. And it looks like Cone might be making a pass here, and he does as Jay lets him go forward. And we have Stapler in 4th spot, with Cone and Jay in 2nd and 3rd. We have B Ward in 5th spot, Archer in 6th spot, King Saturn is back on the track in 7th spot, JSM Turismo is in 8th spot, Trent in 9th spot, Pocono in 10th. He still has a 3-second penalty. Leather Meat is in 11th spot. We have I'm Just Hyper in 12th, Siraxu in 13th, and Captain Napkins is off the track at the moment. I'm not sure what's going on there. As we sit with Squints at the moment. And Squints' tires are getting down there as he's on this 6th lap. And they're the long, sweeping fast corners here, heading into the chicane. So we're back in. Squints is 6.5 seconds up, and Stapler's right behind him. In second, Ward 10 seconds back of Stapler. And they're all out there pushing for fuel at the moment, so we'll have to see when they're going to be pitting. At the moment, running first, second, third, fourth is GTCA, but they're yet to pit. PRA is running 5th, 6th right now, with Cone in 7th, and 8th is Jay. 9th is Trent, and it looks like Jay got a penalty there as he slides around the track a half second. Leather is in 10th, Pocono 11th, I'm Just Hyper 12th, and Siraxu 13th. As Squints comes up these fast corners, about to head into the chicane, and we'll have to see if he's going to pit here. And it looks like Squints is going to go into the pit now. Stapler right behind him, and he's going to be pitting as well. B Ward is coming up into the chicane here in a moment. And we'll have to see. I think Ward's going to stay out on the track. Nope, Ward goes in as well. And it looks like Archer's going to pit as well. Archer down on fumes as he's entering the pit. Sitting with King Saturn. King Saturn's moved up to the 1st spot because GTCA is pitting, with JSM Turismo 2 seconds behind. Cone is behind him, 7 seconds back. with, looks like Squint's coming out of the pit. And yes, he does. Squint comes out in 3rd place, 4 seconds back of GSM Turismo. So we'll have to watch to see if he can pull them back. Looks like there's a yellow flag on the road. Oh, sorry, it's Captain Napkins on the side of the road without fuel. Not sure if he was watching his gauge, but that's unfortunate. King Saturn 2 seconds up on GSM Turismo. Squints is trying to gain back time, 5.5 back of GSM Turismo, with Cone 2 seconds behind him. Stapler is now in 5th spot, Jay in 6th, Trent from PRA 7th, with Ward behind him in 8th, Leatherbeat in 9th, Pocono from PRA in 10th, with I'm Just Hyper with PRA in 11th, Archer is in 12th spot for GTCA, Siraxu is in the pit. As we go back to the front of the line, King Saturn now 2 seconds up on GSM Turismo. As we watch these 2 PRA drivers trying to pull away from the 4 GTCA drivers trying to pull them back. Sorry guys, just had to take a break there for a moment. So now we're back in it. King Saturn 2 seconds up in 1st spot for PRA. JSM Turismo is in 2nd spot for PRA. We have Squints in 3rd spot racing for GTCA. We have Cone Killer in 4th spot racing for GTCA. Behind him is Stapler in 5th spot for GTCA. We have Jay Guerva in 6th spot for GTCA. Behind him is Trent 12999, and then we have Ward in 8th spot for GTCA, Leathermeat in 9th spot for GTCA, Pocono 29th and 10th spot for PRA. I'm Just Hyper is at 11th spot for PRA. Archer is in 12th spot for GTCA. Siraxu is in 13th spot for PRA, and Captain Napkins is out of the race for PRA. Going back to the front, King Saturn 2.2 seconds up. Excuse me. So back at it here. King Saturn in 1st place, still 1.5 seconds up. JSM Turismo in 2nd, with Squints in 3rd place, trying to bring them back, but he's maintaining that 5.7 seconds between him and JSM Turismo. Cone is back 4.5 seconds behind Squints. Stapler in 5th, J 6th, Trent in 7th spot here, Leather in 8th, Ward in 9th, and it looks like he has a 1 second penalty. Pocono in 10th, I'm Just Hyper 11th, Archer 12th, Siraxu has a half second penalty in 13th. Lap 10 of this race, a lap of 17 laps. We're 21, almost 22 minutes in, so we're about 8 minutes and 10 seconds to go before this race will be wrapped up. And King Saturn has been able to maintain that 1.5 seconds up on his teammate JSM Turismo with PRA, and Squints is still 5.7 seconds back. He's trying to bring him back, but at the moment has not been able to do that. We're looking at fuel. It looks like King Saturn may have to pit before this race is over. He's sitting at between about an eighth of a tank. JSM Turismo is just over a quarter of a tank. Squints is well over half a tank. Home Killer is at half a tank. Stapler again well over half a tank. Jay is just over half a tank here. Trent is below a quarter of a tank. Ward is almost 3/4 of a tank. I'm Hyper is less than a quarter. With Pocono is about an eighth of a tank. Archer is well over half. Leather Meat is well over 3/4. Siraxu is well over half as well. And we have Captain Napkins there, who unfortunately has no fuel, sitting on the side of the road. But we'll have to go. King Saturn hits the dirt, which definitely just gave JSM Turismo a lead there as he jumps in the first spot. King Saturn is second spot, now with Squints behind him, 2.5 seconds back. As we're into these long sweeping corners before the chicane. And we'll have to keep an eye out here. I'm pretty much sure that King Saturn will need to pit, but we'll keep an eye on that. And King Saturn's going into the pit, same as JSM Turismo is going into the pit. Squints moves into first place here with 6 laps to go. And he's sitting on about a quarter of his tires are about quarter down. And he has plenty of fuel. Colin has moved into second spot. His tires are looking not bad as well. Stapler's in third spot and his tires are looking really good. And Jay is down to half on his tires and just under half on fuel. So it'll be interesting to see if GTCA's one stop will do well for them, or if the 2 stop will be the winner here. JSM Turismo is back on the track, coming out in front of Jay, and he's 11 seconds back of Stapler, who's sitting in third spot at the moment. Cohen is up in second, 2 seconds up on Stapler, with Squints 6 seconds above him in first spot. So definitely interesting here how fuel strategy and tire strategy is playing out, and we'll have to see which team has got the better guess on this track. But right now we have Squints with GTCA in first, Cone with GTCA in second, Stapler with GTCA in third. We have JSM Turismo in fourth spot with PRA, 11.5 seconds back of Stapler. Jay right behind him with GTCA with the second penalty that he's going to have to take here in the next little bit. We have Ward in sixth spot, 5 seconds down, and he has a 1 second penalty as well. King Saturn is back on the track in 7th spot, 2 seconds back of Ward. We have Archer in 8th spot, Trent in 9th spot for PRA, Leather in 10th with GTCA, Siraxu in 11th with PRA, Pocono 12th with the 1 second penalty as well, and he runs wide on that corner. I'm just Hyper in 13th, and we're back at the front with Squints, whose tires are halfway down with looks like 5 laps to go. Cone is behind him, 8 seconds back, with Stapler right behind him, less than half a second now. GTCA is running 1, 2, 3 with PRA in 4th spot, and then GTCA in 5th, 6th, PRA in 7th, GTCA in 8th, PRA in 9th, GTCA in 10th, PRA in 11th and 12th and 13th. And I'm Hyper just went around his teammate there, Pocono, moving up into 12th spot. Who Leathermeat slid out of the belt there on the corner, but was able to maintain as he's trying to chase down Trent 12999. Archer is sitting in 8th spot. King Saturn up on him in 7th, 1.2 seconds, 2 seconds up. King Saturn's trying to bring back B Ward from GTCA. He's in 6th spot. JSM Turismo has gained a little bit of time on Cone, but he's still 11.5 seconds back. Cone is 1.7 back behind Stapler. Stapler's picking up speed as he's trying to catch up to Squints, who's 9 seconds up in 1st spot. JSM Turismo at the moment has the fastest lap with 2 minutes 18 seconds and 0.111. Squints is sitting back at 2:18.886 as he's running in 1st place here, 0.7 seconds back from the fastest lap, but he's maintaining his 1st spot with a 9.3 second lead on 2nd place Stapler. Again, JSM Turismo is now 9.3 seconds back of Cone as he's trying to bring up back Cone and to move up into that 3rd spot. We have 2.5 minutes left to go, so we'll have to see here on this 14 lap race. 2.5 minutes to go. So we'll see if JSM Turismo can pull Killer back, as it looks like Squints is going to pull up a bit more as he's 10 seconds up on Stapler at the moment. Stapler in 2nd, Cone in 3rd, JSM Turismo is in 4th, and he's got 8.5 seconds now. He's slowly trying to bring back Cone, and we have Jay behind him, 6.5 seconds, with Ward behind Jay, less than a second. We have King Saturn in 7th, Archer in 8th, Trent in 9th, Leathermeat in 10th, Siraxu in 11th, and it looks like Siraxu is pitting. I'm just Hyper in 12th, and Captain Napkins is again still waiting on the side of the track. Squints has opened up a little bit more of a lead. He's at 11 seconds up on 2nd spot, and he is on his final lap right now, so barring something happening, it looks like Squints will come across the line in 1st place, and with Stapler in 2nd spot behind him. And Cone Killer is going to try to hold on for 3rd. Who's got 7.6 seconds up on JSM Turismo. So again, barring any mishaps here before the end of the race, at the moment we're sitting GTCA 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, PRA in 4th, GTCA in 5th, PRA in 6th, GTCA in 7th and 8th, PRA in 9th, GTCA in 10th, PRA in 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. So as we come up, as we're watching Stapler going through the chicanes, and Stapler's crossing the line in 2nd, Cone is crossing the line in 3rd, JSM Turismo is coming around now, and he's crossing the start-finish line in 4th. It looks like Ward is going to be sitting in 5th, with King Saturn in 6th spot, right behind him. And Jay is in 7th. Archer is in 8th. Trent is in 9th. Leathermeat is in 10th. Pocono is in 11th. I'm Just Hyper is in 12th, Siraxu 13th, and Captain Napkins with a DNF. And fastest lap goes to JSM Turismo. Good job for him. Good job, everybody, as we wait to watch this ending. And there we go. So this lap is done. This race is done. We are sitting at that, with that end. GTCA scored 152 points for that race. PRA 84. So with the standings the way they are at the moment, it looks like we're going to be going to Mount Panorama, GTCA's choice. So that's where we're going to be going, guys, for our next race. We will be starting that in 5 minutes, give or take a few. I will be switching the tracks up here, and again, we will be starting the third race. Slowest car first, fastest car last. And welcome to Mount Panorama. Good racing, guys. Yep. Just watching in.
Oh,
Yeah, you know what? You guys are doing awesome. I know you got kicked there, Ward, right at the first corner by the Siraxu, I believe his name is.
Yeah, something, whatever it is.
Yeah, but yeah, you know what? It's unfortunate, but at least it hasn't been a full-out crash fest. And you came up to...
Did they complain any this time?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Good, good.
So everything's been good. Yeah. So I need to run and get a drink because my my throat is killing me. I'm not used to talking this much. Yeah. So he either forgot to take fuel or it punted him out without his fuel, and then he ran out of gas in the pit lane. I don't know if it glitched him out or if he just never took fuel by mistake. Yeah. Well, it pitched him out completely, so whatever, yeah. I'm gonna run down and get a drink, guys, before we start the next one.
I've had that glitch happen to me before in a race.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be back. I'll be back in a moment.
throat punching.
I got a feeling those are some sarcastic remarks. Trump should be in prison.
I love Bud Light. Get the fuck out of here. No one likes Bud Light. Even before all that bullshit.
Okay, I'll be setting up the grid here, and then we'll... I know I see that. That's how we went. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. So, talking to their head there, he says their guys are absolutely loving this, and they would like to do this again another time here.
As long as I leave Trent out of it.
So let me set up the room, and then I will be starting. I'm gonna jump off the group here, guys, and I will start the race here very soon. Okay. I will verify with him before we start it. Just give me a moment to set up the room before that. So I'm jumping off, guys. Okay, setting up the grid for this next race. So just bear with me, guys, and then we'll get started here right away. I just gotta... So Squint, Stapler, Cone, and then GS Turismo, and then we have Ward. And then King Saturn. Where are you, King Saturn? And then we have Jay. And then we have Archer, which should we have there? And then we have Trent. Yep. And then we have Meat. And then Pocono. I'm just Hyper. Taraxu and Captain Napkins. We have the grid set. So we'll give it a moment. Just gonna touch base with their team leader here and see if they're good to go. So anybody out there still watching, we are going into race 3 of PRA versus GTCA. This is the first race these two leagues have done against each other, and it's a format of 7 cars versus 7 cars, and we're going into Mount Panorama. So this is a very technical course. We'll have to see how everything goes. The way the grid is set up, it's grid set up slowest to fastest drivers based on the second race, which was at Spa, and based off the first race, which is at Daytona Speedway. The way this format was set up was PRA chose their track. They chose Daytona Speedway to start. GTCA chose Spa for the second race, and the leaders going into the third race, the team with the highest points, picked the third track. So that is why we're going to Mount Panorama. If PRA would have been ahead, we would have been at Watkins Glen. So we are about to start the race and have a enjoyable time watching. Here we go, guys. Good luck to all the racers, and hopefully we won't see any crashing in the first and second lap here. I mean first and second corner here, which is a very, very tough corner, tough way to start a race, but hopefully we can get through it fairly clean. So let's see. And we're off. So as we come into the first corner, and we already have one PRA driver, one off wide there. As we're coming up on the first straightaway to the second corner, 90 degree, we have Siraxu in first place, Captain Napkins behind him in second, Pocono in third, Leather. So as we're coming down the mountain now, and we're back in the front straightaway, or back straightaway, I apologize, with Siraxu in first, with him being hounded by Captain Napkins of his own team, and Leather in third spot for GTCA. Running first, second, third right now, and they're pulling a bit of a gap of 2.5 seconds. Those are the first 3 drivers. Leather's harrying these 2 PRA drivers, trying to pull them back and make a move. And we'll see if he can do that here as they're coming up into the first straightaway before the 90 degree again. We have Conan Squints at 4th and 5th, Stapler and I'm Just Hyper 6th and 7th, and they're running pretty close with JSM Turismo back in 9th spot. I'm not sure what happened there, but he seemed to have lost some positioning. GTCA running 4th, 5th, and 6th right now as they're climbing up the mountain. Leather's right behind, 0.2 seconds on Captain Napkin as they come about to crest the top here and then make their way down into tight corners. Siraxu is in first spot as he heads up to the top of the mountain, and he starts his downward into these tight, fast corners. And he slows down, and he does a good job. With the, oh, and he puts himself into the wall. Leathermeat moves up in the second and passes it in first spot now. That was unfortunate there for Saraxu as he puts himself into the wall. GTCA is now pulled up ahead. GTCA is running first, second, third, and fourth, with JSM Turismo 1.8 seconds back of that fourth position driver in fifth spot. King Saturn's behind him, 1.5 seconds back, with I'm Just Hyper, Pocono, and then Archer for GTCA sitting in 9th spot. Captain Napkins 10th, Ward is in 11th, Trent in 12th, Jay 13th. And it looks like we lost a driver here somewhere. It looks like Saraxo dropped out of the race here, which is unfortunate. Sorry for jumping quickly through the list, guys. I was just trying to figure out who it was that was no longer there. As we ride with King Saturn, as he tries to catch up to his teammate, JSM Turismo, 3.8 seconds back. Coming up into the 90 degree to start to climb up into the mountain. Stapler is 1.5 seconds up on JS Turismo, with Cone right in front of him, half a second up. Leather is a 1.2 up, with Squints now moving into first place, and with a second up as he's just about to crest this mountain and start the downwards into the fast, tight corners. As we ride with Squints a little bit here, and this track I would say is his bread and butter. He's very, very fast on this track, and I'm looking to see him open up a gap between everybody else. And he's 1.5 seconds up as he heads down into the tight corners of this mountain. Leathermeat's behind him, 1.7, almost 2 seconds back now, with Cone in third spot, Stapler in fourth, and JSM Turismo 1.3 seconds back of Stapler in fifth spot for PRA. Archer has moved up into sixth spot, with Pocono in seventh, Captain Napkins in eighth. Squints takes those corners very, very quick, heading into the 90 degree before he heads into the final the start-finish line. This race will be a 14-lap race for the time limit required for 30 minutes. We have 6.5 minutes gone, with 23.5 to go. And I'm not sure if this is going to be a one-stop race or a two-stop race. We'll have to take an eye on that. For last race, most of the PRA drivers did a 2 pit stop, and most of the GTCA drivers did a 1-stop pit. It shows the different fuel and tire strategies each team are running. And as we look at tire wear, it all seems to be fairly good. We have a few guys running on mediums. GSM Turismo is running on mediums. So is Pocono from Jeep, and so is Captain Napkins. Ward is on softs. And it looks like PRA, for the most part, they're all running medium tires on this track, where most of the GTCA guys are running softs. And Jay's pitting here with front tire and front end damage. Squints is still in first place, and he's opened it up a little more, just over almost 2.3 seconds up, with Leather right behind him in second, Cone in third. Stapler is still in fourth, with a little bit of a gap now on JSM Turismo, 2.5 seconds. So we'll have to see how the pit strategy will play out for these set of drivers. As we watch JSM Turismo come down, and they're in the back straightaway. Again, both these cars, both these teams, they have Their cars are both pretty sharp looking. Again, PRA is in the blue and GTCA is in the black. And we have kind of a strange Scottish flag on our post right now, telling Jay to go. So that's interesting. So we have one driver for GTCA that's actually racing from Scotland, and we have another driver, Squints, who's actually in first place right now, who's racing from England at the moment. So we have two drivers that are quite a ways away from our rest of our drivers who are all located in the US and Canada. Looks like Archer is pitting with front end damage. Just Hyper's moved up in the 10th spot. Trent is in 12th spot. Jay is in 13th with a 3-second penalty. He must have cut the pit lane when he was coming out. That's unfortunate. That's a mighty penalty bite when you do that. Squints is ill in first place here as he's heading down the mountain here in a moment into these tight, fast corners. As he opens up his lead to 2.7 seconds as he heads back down the mountainside. Leather Meat sitting in second spot, 3.5 seconds back now. Stapler 2.7 behind him. Cone right on Stapler's tail as they move down through the corners. With JSM Turismo 4 seconds back on Cone. As we watch JS Turismo again come down into this back straightaway. Captain Napkins is behind him, 15.5 seconds back. As we stay with JSM Turismo here, as he goes into the quick little short 90s before the 90 degree before start finish line. Captain Napkins 6th spot, and he's coming into the quick little 90 as he heads up into the 90 degree before the start finish line as well. We have Ward behind him in 7th spot, 2.3 seconds back. Captain Napkins is pitting and Ward's out, and it looks like Ward has a little bit of front end damage, but very little tire wear right now as he goes across the line in 2 minutes 7 seconds. Squints right now has the fastest lap, 2 minutes 5 seconds, .280. And it looks like most of PRA's pitting here. And Squints is, his lead is swollen, shrunken down a little bit, where Leather's 1.9 seconds back. As they're trying to pull away from the rest of the pack. GTCA is running 1, 2, 3, and 4. PRA is at 5th, and then we have GTCA again in 6th and 7th spot of this 14-car race. We had one PRA guy drop out after he hit the wall in these tight downhill corners. He did huge front end damage to his car, which was unfortunate. Just shows you there how fast Squints is coming down the mountain. He always opens up a gap of almost 3 seconds on Leather, and then Leather fights to gain that back again. And then when they go down the mountain again, Squints opens it up again. Just goes to show you that how fast he likes that downhill and how well he does it. Oh, Cone went off the grass there. Not sure exactly what happened. We just caught the tail end as he was coming back on. And that just let JSM Turismo gain 2 of his seconds back. So now he's just over 2 seconds back of Cone. Ward sitting in 6th spot as he goes across the start-finish line. And Archer behind him in 7th. I have to apologize to the room. Periodically my mic seems to kick out and I have to restart it, so when you hear a dead silence there for a moment, it's because I did not realize that my mic kicked out. We are in our 3rd and final race of our PRA versus GTCA race night. Again, this is 2 different leagues that are racing. Each team put in 7 drivers for this race, and it was a 3-race session. First race we found ourselves at Daytona Speedway, which was PRA's choice track. Second race found us at Spa, which was GTCA's choice track. And the 3rd race is at Mount Panorama here. And this was determined by the team who was in 1st place after the first 2 races. GTCA were in 1st, and this was the track that they had chosen. If PRA would have been on 1st place, we would have been at Watkins Glen. But we're in Mount Panorama instead, which is a very, very tight technical track. As we follow along with Captain Napkins now, as he's coming up to the top of the mountain, and we'll follow him down the hill into those tight, fast corners. Oh, and he runs off the grass a bit there, but maintains his car and brings it back. And we'll have to see if he, and he got a 2-second penalty there for cutting that corner, which is unfortunate. The grass caused, and he spins and hits the wall as he's sideways on the track, and he drops down to 11th spot. That was unfortunate. The grass at the top made his tires dirty and he just lost track. That was unfortunate to see. As we move back up, we'll follow Archer here for a little bit as he heads into the 90-degree past the first start-finish line and up into the front straightaway. Ward is heading up the front straightaway, 5.5 seconds up on Archer, with Leathermeat up him, 4 seconds up higher as Leathermeat turns into the corners and starts his way up the mountain. JS Turismo is in 4th spot here, 4.5 seconds almost behind Cone, so Cone was able to open up a bit of a gap again, and it looks like that JS Turismo may have to pit this next lap with his fuel flashing red. Cone is same thing. Cone is also flashing red as he makes a pass on Stapler, who gained a 1-second penalty there. And Stapler goes a little poorly in the tires with his 1-second penalty. And it looks like GTCA will probably have to pit here, but we'll see what Squints does. He's at about 1/8 of a tank left, and he's not flashing red. So we'll see if he's pitting or if he's going to stay out. I'm going to assume that he's going to pit, but don't take my word on that. As we follow him around into the 90 here, and yes, he is going into the pit. And Cone's behind him, and I believe Cone will be pitting here as well. And Cone goes in. JSM Turismo moved up in the 3rd spot on Stapler, and he pits, and Stapler's right behind him pitting as well. Stapler has tire and front end damage, so unfortunately he's going to be in a pit a bit longer. Leathermeat's already pitted earlier, so he's all good on fuel and tires, and he's sitting in 5th spot here as he crosses the start finish line. And it looks like he's going to come out here in 1st spot. Nope, I apologize, Squints come out in 1st, coming out of that pit stop. So Squints is still in 1st spot here. Leathermeat now in 2nd. We have Archer in 3rd, and Cone is coming out now in 4th, and JS Turismo should be right out behind him. He is in 5th, and Stapler is coming out now with that damage. He was a little bit slower in the pit than everybody else, but he's coming out in 6th spot. Wards went into the pit. He's sitting in 7th spot right now. King Saturn is on the track, and he's just crossing the start finish line, and Ward come out of the pit in 7th spot in front of him. Going back to the front of the line here, we have Squints in 1st. Leathermeat is right behind him, 0.6 seconds back. Behind him, 7.8 seconds is Archer in 3rd spot. We have Cone Killer in 4th spot. And we'll watch Cone, see how he does coming down the mountain into these fast, tight corners. And he takes that fairly well. And he's still up 4.5 seconds on GS Turismo. I am not sure who the livery guy for PRA is, but for GTCA, I'd like to thank Joel Sachs. His PSN name is Jax. He designed all of these black and red GTCA cars, and they look wonderful. And again, I'm not sure who the PRA designer was, but again, these PRA cars look pretty good as well. Two very, very sharp looking cars out there. I'd like to thank both livery guys for doing this for us. Cone Killer in 3rd spot with JSM Turismo gating back a little more time. He's just under 3 seconds back. Leathermeat's opened up almost 13 seconds on Cone, and he's 0.6 back of Squints, as these two are running 1 and 2 for GTCA. With about 4 laps to go, I believe. We're at 20.5 minutes. We have 9.5 minutes to go. As we watch Leather right now, as he heads down the mountain into the tight corners, trying to stay close with Squints. And he takes those corners pretty good, but again, Squints opened up a 1.9 second gap there. And they are at the top of the mountain, they are 0.5 behind each other. Cone sitting in 3rd spot, 11.5 seconds back, with JSM Turismo right behind him as they're coming up into this back straightaway before the quick little 90 and into the start finish. Stapler in 5th spot. I'm not sure, you know, he lost it a little bit on the downhill corners there the last lap, and he lost position, allowing JSM Turismo to get past him. So he's fighting to bring JSM Turismo back. At the moment, he's 4.5 seconds back. We'll have to see if he can do that. Tires and fuel are pretty much done for the rest of this race, so there will be no more pitting, and we're down to 8 minutes left. That's 8 minutes, so about 3 laps, possibly 4 laps to go. There's a bit of a gap between Cone and JSM Turismo, and Cone's running kind of by himself at the moment. And JS Turismo is same as him. He's running kind of alone right now, trying to catch up and trying to fight off Stapler from letting them gain back time. Stapler comes in as they start climbing the mountain. And Archer and Ward are starting the 90 degree and start climbing the mountain as well. King Saturn is in the pits. He ran out of, or not running out of fuel, but he needs fuel to finish the race as he changes his tires. Captain Napkins is coming into the pit as well. And then we have Trent in 10th spot. Pocono in 11th. I'm Just Hyper in 12th. Jay in 13th. We had one PRA driver drop out. He was leading the first 2 laps, but going down into those fast downhill corners, he slid out a bit and he crashed dead 90 onto one of the walls, and that ended his race. Squints has opened up a 6.5 second lead on Leathermeat now. I'm not sure if Leather had some issues or what, but he's now 6.5 seconds back, with Cone gaining a little bit of time on him, so he's only 10 seconds back, 9.8, with JSM Turismo fighting to bring Cone back in, is now under 3 seconds at 2.6 seconds back of Cone. Stapler in 5th spot, 4 seconds back. He's gained a little bit of time on JSM Turismo as well. He gained a second back. Archer's in 6th and 13th spot. We have Ward in 7th, 1 second back. We have King Saturn in 8th, and he's almost a minute behind. And Captain Napkins is 16 seconds behind Saturn. Trent is 5 seconds back of Captain Napkins. I'm Just Hyper is 26 seconds up on Pocono, and Jay is 2.5 seconds back in last place right now. And Squints is extending his lead to 7.7 seconds, and he's put up a fastest lap of 2 minutes 3.145 seconds on this track as he heads down into this fast tight corners. And again, he shows why he loves this track, as he does it clean, as flawless as he always does, and he opens up that gap a little bit more on second place Leathermeat. Leathermeat's coming down into these tight corners now. In second spot, and he's back onto the back straightaway. And Cohen is about behind him as he heads into the back straightaway. 3 seconds up on JSM Turismo. JSM Turismo has a bit of traffic in front of him. 13th place Jay and 12th place Pocono are in front of him, as he tries to gain position here. As he's fighting for 4th spot. And Jay lets him by as JSM Turismo goes past the start-finish line. And he's 3.4 seconds back on Cone. And he's going to have to make a pass here. Oh, Pocono went into the pit, so he won't have to pass his fellow teammate. Cone is 9.3 seconds back in 3rd place behind Leathermeat, who's now 10 seconds back on Squints. Squints keeps opening up that gap on this track as he's pulled slowly away from the rest of the cars. He's gonna possibly, before this race is done, he'll be meeting up with the back of the pack. So we'll have to see how he takes this, or if he's going to be slowed down and others will be able to catch up to him. So we'll see what happens here. With 3 minutes to go, and he's coming up on Pocono in 13th spot. As they're climbing the mountain. So we'll sit with Squints and we'll ride inside with him and just see if you can pull him back. And both cars for these teams we're running were GR3 Jaguars. Everybody had the same car. We were running VOP, so all the cars were equal. It just came down to drivers. I'm sitting with Squinch right now. And this could possibly be the last lap. He might be able to get one more in. We'll have to see. As he's trying to chase down Pocono, who's in last spot here, as they're heading up the mountain. It'll be very interesting because Squints is faster than everybody else going down the mountain into those tight corners. So we'll have to see what he does here, or if he'll just hang back and stay behind these guys. Oh, and he makes a pass on Pocono coming up the mountain. I'm pretty sure Pocono stepped aside for him, which was good driving etiquette, as he's now coming up on Jay, and I'm just hyper. And Squints is coming up on King Saturn. And we'll have to see if this will be the last lap. Or will Squints get across the line in time to one more lap? We'll have to see here. It's going to be fairly close. We're 20 seconds left in this race. And Squints is going to be running. Oh, and that's it for the race. And Squints finishes in first place. Good job, Squints. Stapler will be 7th. Captain Napkins, I believe, will be 8th. Trent will be 9th. King Saturn will be 10th. Hyper is 11th. Jay is 12th. Pocono is 13th. And DNF.
That
It is
first
what
race
it.
was bad for
Yeah,
me.
it,
Those
it
penalties kill me.
it is what it is. You know, just gotta let it go.
Sir, yes, sir.
Thank you everybody for watching. This again was our PRA versus GTCA, and have a good night. We're signing out. Bye.